Flagship by AB Tasty delivers product optimization capabilities that enable companies to deliver an Amazon-like experience. In practice, that means being able to experiment at scale, experimenting, personalizing, managing features, and deploying thousands of times per year to meet ever-growing customer expectations. In the Flagship product, you can see we deliver quick access to these 4 use cases. It all starts with a feature flag. Think of it as a variable that dictates the behavior or look and feel of your website, your mobile app, email, or any connected device or channel. The key is that its value is controlled by the Flagship Decision API. In the most basic scenario, it lets you define this value remotely, but you can do much more, as you'll see later. In addition to the Flagship Decision API, you have the option of using one of the several SDKs we have to accommodate the most common programming languages and frameworks, both client and server side. You don't need to add any JavaScript snippets to your pages. Everything is delivered on the server side, giving you full control over the performance. Let's see how to set up a flag in practice. First, from the Flagship dashboard, you declare this variable as a key value pair. This could be a Boolean, true or false, a string, or a number. Let's make it simple and just define a Boolean flag named feature is active. Then move to your code project. For this example, we are working with a simple React application. Install the Flagship SDK, require the package, and wrap your code with the Flagship provider, passing it the expected parameters, namely the API key and the environment ID you get from your Flagship account. You also need to provide a consistent ID for any specific user to make sure that they're assigned the same features when they visit your site again. Next, from your React component, assign the variable that dictates your code logic, the return value of one of the SDK methods, passing it the exact same key as you defined in the Flagship interface. And that's it. Once these feature flags are implemented throughout your code base, you're in control to optimize your products and features at scale, at unprecedented pace. Let's see some examples. Your team has developed a new, more streamlined user onboarding flow. Fewer input fields, fewer steps in the funnel, or a new social sign-up. You want to measure its impact on different business KPIs, whether it's usage metrics like a glitch in funnel progression, or revenue-related metrics. For this example, your team wants to track total signups as the primary business KPI and a secondary one. Let's say click on the sign up button. Tracking these metrics implies using methods from our SDKs to connect real-time events on your site or app. With our robust data collect system, this not only feeds our artificial intelligence algorithms, but also the reporting made available. So you set up a simple flag with a true-false value. This way you can remotely control if this new flow is visible. It's like an on-off kill switch. As you can see, you can easily create a new scenario where the feature is active. Next, you can target who will see this new onboarding flow. You need to first set up a user context key. Think of it as an attribute that segments your user base. This user context key is declared in the Flagship interface and wired to your code using the SDK. The value in the code for a specific visitor should match the one you set up in the targeting setup to make sure only users with that value will see the feature. For this example, let's say that this new onboarding flow is only available to your beta audience, or only a USA regionally based audience. Once your configuration is done, you'll see a recap with code samples that act as reminders for integration. Now you can activate your feature for this specific subset of users by just flipping the switch and turning it on. Users with a value that matches the user context key will see the new onboarding flow, and Flagship will start collecting data. You access this data from the reporting interface. There, for instance, you can see all the goals and business KPIs that you've set up for this campaign. For example, how many users were exposed to this new feature? How many converted? What was the conversion rate? In addition to segmenting your audience, you can progressively roll out this new onboarding flow. You can start with 20% and schedule a 20% increase every week. This gives you the opportunity to keep a close eye on the business KPIs that matter most and monitor for friction before impacting the entire user base. Continuous deployments done safely is now an easier step in your product development lifecycle. You can also automatically roll back this new feature if one of your key business KPIs is triggered, making sure your team is focused on deploying value while mitigating risks and maximizing outcomes. Advanced teams can also run experiments on different feature variations with a variety of testing approaches. For example, an A/B test comparing onboarding flow A versus flow B. In practice, a feature variation is simply a specific combination of flags with different values. You set up these combinations right from the Flagship interface using the flag names as defined in your code and the value you want to assign them. So if you have properly set flags across your code base, experimenting at scale becomes seamlessly embedded in your product development lifecycle. You also gain full control over traffic allocation between your different variations, or you can let the artificial intelligence in our Decision API dynamically control this allocation, progressively pushing more traffic to the best performing variation based on a specific metric. Once your experiment is running, we start collecting data and give you access to a full report to measure the impact of your variations on any tracked business KPIs with all the data you need to make informed, data-driven decisions. Users exposed, conversions, conversion rate, uplift, confidence level, etc. In this video, we've basically covered two key capabilities to help you personalize your user experiences and be more relevant. By being able to target groups that share the same user context keys and assign them a set of features configured through JSON flags, you can easily deliver targeted messaging, personalized offers, or recommend the most relevant content for your users. With Flagship, you enable innovation, accelerate your time to market, all while controlling risk and measuring the business impact of all your features. It's a key addition to our existing client-side optimization capabilities. Why? Both enable you to reinvent the way marketing, product, and tech teams collaborate and ship new features and messages, instilling a culture of experimentation resulting in maximum agility.